Welcome to the SoberQ podcast.
Hi, my name is Mary and I'm an alcoholic. The question I've been asked to answer is, how did we overcome our reluctance to share our personal inventory with another person? So before I came into AA and started working the steps, I was not terribly honest, right? I had my real life and I had a fantasy life, and I was often covering up things, especially as they related to my drinking and my behavior. So coming into Alcoholics Anonymous and learning how honest, open-minded, and willing, those being the keys to working the 12 steps, that was a new life for me. I got a sponsor when I was about 60 days sober, and I started forming a relationship with her. And she showed me a sober woman who was open and honest and very willing to grow along spiritual lines. And she shared everything about her life with me. There weren't any secrets. And she didn't try to be anything other than who she was. And that was new for me. That was a new experience to see somebody sharing, the good times, the sick times, in a really open and honest way. And I formed a relationship with my sponsor. We worked through the big book as we worked the steps. And so we had met for many weeks leading up into my fourth step. And my fourth step took maybe 2 months to write. And during that time, I started sharing some of the things on my fourth step with her, and she would tell me things that had been on her fourth step. So we started kind of step by step wading into, really sharing these personal details about ourselves. And I will say the steps are in order for a reason, right? I had 4 full steps to work prior to doing my 5th step. So when it came time for my 5th step, I had already practiced out, sharing some things about myself and seeing that there was no judgment from my sponsor. In fact, there was a sense of relating. There was a sense of a common bond, as I would share things, she would share things about herself. And to be honest, some of the things that I was reluctant to share about were just really petty things, and it was one thing for me to admit them to myself, write them down, even share them with a higher power. And it was another thing to share them face to face with another human being, right? It made it very real. I was letting somebody know me really intimately for the first time, and I was greeted with love and hope. And I remember reading my 5th step and my sponsor, pulling out her 4th step and saying, "Oh, I had a resentment like that too. Oh, I did something like that too." And so before the 5th step, I had seen people get sober and work all the steps. And I knew if they could do it, I could do it too. And I desperately wanted freedom from alcoholism. I wanted freedom from the compulsion to drink. And so in some ways I was willing to go to any lengths, but having a trusting, loving relationship with my sponsor made it that much easier.
If you would like to share your experience on a recovery question, visit the SoberQ podcast website at soberq.com. Thanks for listening.